Well, it's still the 14th of January, and I've got my second interview in this fancy new studio, Wayne Buckley-Koch. Welcome to Carrie's Corner on the Biz News platform.
Thanks, Carrie. Thank you, and thanks for having me.
It's always a pleasure. And I tell you something, I'm going to be dead honest with you, because we've got this too cool for school, hot, new space that is TV and radio and all kinds of fancy stuff. You know, there's no stopping Biz News. Every time I come here, there's something new and there's something bloody wonderful that's going on about Biz News. But we've got this new studio. And if I make a mess on any of the controls, I wanted a friendly face across the desk from me. So that's part of the reason why you're here.
Great stuff.
Wayne Buckley-Koch is not only a colleague, but a really, really old friend. And he recently moved to Vildecrantz wine estate, which is owned by a mutual friend as well. And I'm going to keep quiet now, and I'm going to get you to tell the listeners and the viewers about you.
Cool.
Doesn't have to be all revealing. Don't have to drop your pants in Park Station.
Yeah.
Just the bits you want.
Perfect. Well, not so recently. It's almost 3 years now.
Is
So
it
time
really?
has definitely flown whilst you're having fun, and it's been an absolutely amazing journey with Wildekrans so far, and a great team that we're with. Really love the team that we work together with, and it's more of a family than working. So it's great. But
You've got a vision for that team, haven't you?
Totally.
Tell us about that.
So, you know, we've got a great team that we've got in place, and there's definitely a theme, and that theme seems to be girl power. So
I love you for that.
I sort of sit in the corner, and you know, the girls, they run the world when it comes to the land of Wildekrans.
That's brilliant.
We've got we've got Debbie, who's our managing director. We've got
And Debbie is just brilliant. She's
amazing.
She's a calming influence
Keeps us all on track and
in the
line.
world of chaos, which is the wine industry. It's chaotic. So Debbie's the MD.
Rachel is our FD. Then we've got our winemaking team. Both the winemakers, females. So we've got the two girls that are doing magic in the cellar at the moment. Tasting room team, our hospitality manageress. You know, there's just girls all over the show, and they do the best work for us on that farm, and they are absolutely amazing. And I cannot work with a better team than what we have. So I do sometimes feel like the odd one out. Myself and Gary sit there going, okay, the girls are doing this
Well,
whole thing.
I don't know whether we're going to call them Gary's girls or Wayne's women, but
Something like
if
that.
we're talking about the actual wine making, so Debbie is the managing director. Rachel is the girl with her finger on the Jewish harp. She's playing the calculator and the till.
Yeah.
Who's in your tasting room?
So we've got Leanne in the tasting room. She's
Yes.
been with us for quite a number of years. Emma on the hospitality side.
Yes, she's fabulous.
And her husband is actually he's the chef.
Yes.
So they're a great team. And then we've got Mareka on the winemaking side.
That's where I was going.
Yes.
So last year, for everybody's sort of info, the last two remaining boys on the farm, I think Gary and Wayne, made a move to employ Mareka. What's
Buerta.
Mareka's Buerta? And Riani Stradom. Tell us about those two girls, because they're quite a little dream team.
Jeez, powerhouses. So Riani's got. She was of massive intrigue to us from the start, because I've known Riani for quite a few years, and
Yes.
I've always looked up to her as a really amazing winemaker.
Superb winemaker.
She's articulate. She takes no nonsense whatsoever, which we love. And she, at the same time, she's exceptional at what she does, and she's a perfectionist.
She's very academic. Little background on Riani Stradom from my perspective. Riani is a cum laude graduate from Stellenbosch University. Or was she at Elsen? No. Mareka, I think, was at Elsenburg.
Yeah,
but in
that's
any
good,
event, they between them, they are both cum laude graduates from Stellenbosch and Elsenburg, respectively. They know what they're doing. Riani worked for about 14 or 15 years for the Remy Cointreaus at Morgenhof, and made a definite beautiful, and I know that I'm not allowed to say it, but I'm going to say it anyway because I'm allowed to, because I'm old. She made a wonderful feminine stamp on the wine that came out of the Remy Cointreau stable as well at Morgenhof. I loved her red blend, but she's particularly clever with her white wines as well. She's married to Louis Strydom, who is no stranger to the wine industry. He has been involved with Ernie Els, with Rust and Freda. He's a top draw boy. No sort of slouch in the vineyard, and definitely no slouch in the winery. And I know that they bounce off each other.
Totally, yeah.
So Riani is power. Yeah. Then you've got a little pocket rocket called Mareka Buerta.
So we've got Mareka, who she's originally from, well, she'd never, I think she fell into the wine industry, much like myself.
Yes.
So she's originally from the East Rand and studied to become an optometrist.
I know.
And then, like all Stellenbosch students, I think, realized that wine is a lot more fun than studying becoming an optometrist. So,
or maybe she found that when she drank so much, she couldn't see anymore.
I think you just get so used to drinking at Stellenbosch that wine seems like a great idea to do.
Yeah.
So, from a team perspective, absolutely amazing. Loving having all the ladies with us, and it's just added a huge sort of different dynamic to the farm.
It's a happy space.
It's a happy space.
So if you go to Vildecrantz, which everybody should do, because we'll tell you now about the geography of the farm, what's available there, and then we'll go on to talking about the wine, which is really what we're here for in the first place.
Yes.
But if you do go to the farm, first of all, there's a beautiful restaurant there, which is managed by Emma and cooked for by her husband, Gordon.
Yes.
I've had fantastic food there. I need to give you a tip that came from a client that we sent to Vildecrantz to say, make a hamburger menu, make a kiddies menu.
Yeah.
Which is something that you might like to take back to them, which is constructive criticism. They loved it. They absolutely loved the restaurant. Yeah. They had quite a mass of young children who weren't sure about foie gras and, freshly foraged mushrooms that morning from the forest. So that's the restaurant, which we'll talk to you about. But there's a lovely aura of calm, fun competence at Vildecrantz, which is Wayne Buckley-Koch. That's where I know you from. You do have a background of hospitality as well as wine. So I think that's filtered through to the hospitality side of Vildecrantz. It's calm. It's nice. Tell everybody what's available to do at Vildecrantz.
So it's one of the things that I really like that makes Vildecrantz really, really special is the amount of things you can do and the fact that you actually don't really need to leave the farm.
No.
I think especially now that we've seen with COVID, people just want to break out of the city. They want to break out of their apartments or their homes or whatever else and just get out there and enjoy nature. So what you can do on the farm, you've got our accommodation.
Yes, in the form of lovely little cottages,
yeah.
Self-contained cottages that make up the hotel
Correct.
at Vildecrantz.
So there's various units, the cottages that we have on the farm. Some are 2-bedroom and some are 3-bedroom for larger families or groups of friends.
Yeah.
It is a casual environment. You can relax. There's a beautiful swimming pool. Go lie by the pool. Go drink the wine on the lawn. Have a sort of, a little braai by evening if you want to do something casual. Otherwise, there's our restaurant, which is open certain nights. Otherwise, just down the drag in the local village.
Oh, we love Botrefier.
Yes.
We love what's in Botrefier.
And I have taken Carrie once to the local hotel called the Botrefier Hotel.
Reintroduced to brandy and Coke.
We had to go into character, unfortunately, that day, and we decided to drink brandy and Coke till the cows came home. But, we've got the winery on the farm, which we love taking people through to see where the magic all starts from the beginning. Yeah. It's always a great thing to see where your favorite tipple comes from.
Yep.
A little bit of a walk through the vineyards if you wish. If you are into mountain biking, more than welcome to bring the mountain bike with and go through the trails. We have 3 trails on the farm. there are maps available, maps and apps and all sorts of things that will guide you in the right direction.
And
so you
when
won't
we
get
say
lost.
mountain bike, we mean mountains, because Vildecrantz is in a little basin surrounded by the Overberg, really, isn't it?
Well, therewith comes the name, which Wildekrans roughly translated means wild cliffs.
Wild cliffs, yes.
And they can be quite wild when it comes to mountain biking. And the mountain bikers I'm not a mountain biker myself, but the mountain bikers that I know absolutely love it.
Yeah.
Because
there's
it's
also
challenging.
there's also running trails.
Running
on the farm.
trails. You've got obviously our tasting center too, where you can go relax and enjoy the wines. And if you just want to chill, I just do need to warn everyone up front that if you do come for lunch, it's not a quick in and out. It is a 4-hour, lots of rosé or Sauvignon Blanc or Chenin Blanc or bubbles, whatever you prefer. And you're watching the sun change the color of those mountains as it goes down.
It's beautiful.
And by the time sort of sunset comes and you actually need to go home, it's like,
do we really have to?
Do we need to? And a lot of people end up just going, should we just try and check in? Maybe there's
I
a
know.
room. And we've had this very often.
I'm sure. I was going to say that's the thing that's nice. So if you're in the Cape and you get out to visit Vildecrantz, make sure that you book a room for the night.
Yeah.
Because I've been party to one or two of those lengthy, extended lunches that Wayne is referring to. And the food is delicious in that restaurant. Gordon is a super smart chef. Where did he come from?
So Gordon was at the pool room at Oak Valley before, and he's worked at a variety of top-notch places before.
Okay.
Very well respected.
And there is something in the foraging early in the morning, because that restaurant makes the most of whatever is fresh and wild in the immediate environment, doesn't it?
Yeah, because we're a sort of multifaceted farm in terms of, we've got peaches, we've got plums, we've got citrus, we've got
Olives.
we've got all sorts of things growing on the farm. As you walk into the restaurant, you'll see you can buy those, the fresh produce. You can buy when it's produce season. We've got the produce from the farm. We've got the fanwas. We've got the beautiful things that you can actually buy directly from the farm, not sort of mass-produced and plonked into supermarkets. It's it's authentic and it's real, and it doesn't come fresher than that.
No, it doesn't. And then on to the wines. I'm so excited to taste the first vintage that's going to be put together by your little girl team, because I think between them we're going to get a gorgeous mix of style, quiet power, elegance, and fruit, because girls love taste.
Sure.
And I think that between Riani and Mareko, they're going to put exactly that together. Tell our listeners and viewers what's in store, what's in the lineup from Vildecrantz.
Okay. So, for me, the feminine touch in wine, you can taste
nice.
it. For me, I can taste it a mile away, and it's elegance and it's finesse. So I think firstly we can expect elegance and finesse coming through in those wines.
Yeah.
The first rounds will be more so on the whites and the rosés. So we're going to look forward to a really, really, really good Sauvignon Blanc coming out. The Chenin Blanc too, and then it will now be our third vintage of rosé.
Yeah.
And, our first vintage that we ever pushed out of our rosé, we didn't make much because no one sort of believed me that it is one of the biggest things next to sliced cheese at this point.
No, it is. It's a massively growing.
Huge.
And variety.
We have grown. The amount of rosé we're now selling is getting big. So I'm really looking forward to what's coming out of the cellar.
Are you having to buy some fruit in for that rosé?
No, it's all from the farm.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah. So, we pick specifically for rosé. So it's not gone are the days of when rosé used to be sort of the byproduct of making red wine.
Yeah, it was the poor man's tipple, really.
100%. And these days, rosé is a very specific, has to be made and picked to make a rosé. So it's done in a very sort of specialized French Provençal style. And
it's
really
pale
looking
it's pale in appearance. It's dry, but it's got lovely fruit on the back palate.
And then the other nice thing about rosé and why it makes it one of my favorite wines, it pairs with absolutely anything.
I know.
It pairs with summer days. It pairs with winter days. It pairs with any food.
In between seasons.
It's just everything
It's
you
very
possibly
versatile.
want. It's totally versatile.
Yeah.
So for me, it's got balanced acidity always. So you can sit and you can not feel like you're going to have heartburn for the rest of the day after you've drank a bit too much.
Yeah. So we've got some rosé, we've got some Sauvignon Blanc, we've got some Chenin Blanc.
Yeah.
And then we've got something that I love called Deep Purple.
Yes.
Probably an overhang from Gary Harlow's misspent youth when he listened to Deep Purple, the rock band. I'm sure that's where the name comes from.
Well, you know that Gary does have a severe love for music, as does the whole family, and it's always that sort of interesting time. There's certain periods in the cellar that are always quite manic, where everyone has to work a little bit longer.
A little bit harder.
And you know the winemakers will grow their beers during harvest and whatever else.
Yeah.
And the only
Well,
thing
it's easy because they're allowed to do virtually nothing for the rest of the year, let's be honest.
you're going to get in trouble
It'll be
after this.
slated.
Yes. But, you know, the thing is, it's during that time, they always sort of have the music sort of pumping in the cellar. And back in the day when Deep Purple... It was a vintage where it was really, really deep, dark fruit for that vintage. And during the sort of bottling and blending and all sorts of periods that we were sort of going through, we were looking at this wine over time. And one time when we went to, the wine had already been blended. And the music everything had calmed down, but the music was still a feature in our cellar. Looking at this wine, it was Deep Purple beyond. And in the background...
Was
Smoke
Deep
Over
Purple in
Water
rock.
by Deep Purple was playing. So, I mean, it was a no-brainer. I mean, it was written in
Nice
stars.
story.
So it's a great thing because people forget the name, but they come up to me and say, please, I need 2 cases of the Rockstar wine urgently. And I know exactly what they say.
Know what they're talking about. It's clever. It's clever marketing. But Deep Purple is a blend.
Yes.
And I'm not sure whether you are at liberty to divulge the blend. It doesn't matter. Who cares?
There are
it's a delicious
seven
blend.
varietals in it. And
really,
the French would absolutely be petrified if I told you what's in it because it is definitely not what the French want to hear.
Don't divulge. We keep it a little bit of a recipe.
Well,
secret recipe.
the listeners, when they do decide to have a bottle or two, on the back of the bottle will tell you exactly what's in it.
Oh, does it?
It does.
I was
yes.
going to suggest one of the little bits of newsflash, hot off the press, that I wanted to tell everybody is another reason why Wayne and I are chatting today is because you are the next, victim in the Biz News digital shop.
That's correct.
So Vildecrantz is going to be available from the farm still, but curated and facilitated through Biz News. And we're very, very excited about the partnership going forward. But I was going to say, why don't we make a competition for anybody who orders a case of Deep Purple through Biz News for the next month to tell us what varieties you think are in Deep Purple. But now you've given it all away. It's on the back label.
We've given them a bit of a hint, but that means they do have to order their
They
case.
do have to order it and buy it. We'll definitely look at that. So we've got Deep Purple, and then you've got you've got 3 tiers of wines.
Yeah, so we've got our MCC as a range,
which is delicious, by the way.
Delicious.
Just by the way.
So we've got a unique MCC made with 100% Chenin, which I think. And I stand to be correct. I think there's only about 4 guys in the other wineries.
I don't think that there are very many. I know that my COVID brain, you're going to have to tell me my gorgeous little friend from the Swartland.
Rocking Horse or something. I think Rocking Horse is Chenin.
We'll think of it in a minute.
But so there's very few producers that do produce a Chenin-based MCC. Then we've got our Rosé MCC, which is done in traditional style of Chardonnay and Pinot Noir. And then,
that's my best.
Yeah. And then for those that like something a little bit sweeter, we've got a demi-sec. It's not crazy sweet, but it's got a little bit more sugar than your average
I love demi-sec.
Yeah.
It's no secret to the rest of the world. Everybody thinks that demi-sec is sweet. It's not. It's just so perfectly right. It's perfectly right. You can buy much sweeter bubblies if you want to, but demi-sec...
It hits the right button.
It hits the right spot.
Yeah.
Try it.
Then we've got our estate range, which comprises
Isn't her name Christophe Chevalerie?
Beg pardon?
I think it's called Chevalerie. the other Chenin bubbly.
Yes.
And her name is Krista, and she's gorgeous. I interrupted you.
It's fine.
So we've got bubbly rosé.
We've got the
bubbly.
estate range, which is our Sauvignon, our Chenin, our rosé. We've got a Pinotage, we've got a Shiraz, a Cape blend, and then and then we've got the deep purple as well.
Okay.
So a nice range, and then we've got our Barrel Select, which is our award-winning little hidden, well, not so hidden secret because it's all over the.
It's all over the place, all over
show
the world, really.
All over the world, yes. Which is our most sort of popular wines that we have, because they win all the big awards.
They do.
So that comprises of a Chenin Blanc, a wooded Chenin Blanc.
It's a big fat guy.
Oh, it's lovely.
It's gorgeous. If you're going to go and have a plate of oysters at Vildecrantz with the sea breezes blowing over the mountain down into the basin where you sit at the restaurant, an icy cold bottle of Barrel Select Chenin and a plate filled with more oysters than you can eat. My idea of heaven.
Absolutely. And I'm going to give everyone, our Joburg listeners, I think a little bit of a tip that I do, and my friends are so tired of hearing the story because I brag about it all the time. For those of you that live near Ilova, if you jump down to Thrups, they have the cheapest scallops you can get possibly in the country.
Oh, that's right. And they're delicious
They're
scallops.
delicious and they're huge.
Yeah.
And almost every Saturday of my life, I get these scallops, and I sort of just sear them, put some lemon juice, some white wine, some grilled fennel, and I have it with that Chenin Blanc Barrel
Delicious.
Select. It's death row kind of meal.
Yeah, okay.
100%.
So scallops or oysters and Barrel Select Chenin. We definitely know that.
So that's sorted. Then we've got our Shiraz on the Barrel Select range, our Cape blend, and our Pinotage. We also are producing on certain years we do a limited edition Cab Franc.
Yeah.
But only when the vineyard tells us that we're allowed to.
Right.
So we have to listen to the vineyard.
It's one of the good things about Wildekrans is that you do listen to your vineyard. For 1 or 2 years, you produced an absolutely gorgeous, and I know you're going to kill me, but I loved your Pinot Noir. It was absolutely beautiful, but you don't, as you say, produce. And you've also got a Grenache Blanc.
Correct, yeah.
You've got a Grenache Blanc vineyard just up. If you're sitting at the restaurant, you're sort of looking at that
That's
Grenache.
exactly where it is, yes.
And that's also sometimes you produce that, not always.
So there's those three, and those are very special editions that we'll do. So you can almost call that a fourth range.
Yes.
And that's when the vineyard speaks to us. I think that one of the tricks with winemaking is, stop listening to what everyone else is saying and listen to the wine in the barrel and listen to the vineyards.
100%.
And
100%.
that's where quality sort of comes out.
Yeah.
And it shows in the wines.
Yeah. So this year, Wayne, you're focusing on upping your quality as you always do.
Yeah.
I know that you're putting a lot of time and energy into your hospitality. That is a big part of your wine sales. I know that you're in charge of exports as well.
Yes.
And you do get out and about. Hopefully COVID is going to allow you to do more of that this year.
We hope so, yes.
Because the wineries have taken a bit of a hammering, let's be honest, during the last 24 months. It's been very difficult.
Yeah.
And you've jumped on board with Biz News. So you've got lots and lots of things to look forward to. You've got a beautiful farm to work with. You've got a fantastic customer base that you work with, because once you are a Vildecrantz fan, you'll always be a Vildecrantz fan. There's so much more to Vildecrantz than just the wine. We'll put all the things on whatever platforms, and everybody laughs at me because I really, really just used to do radio. And I really, really just speak to somebody from standing in a shop on the floor. But now there's so many other things. So Danita and Dudu and everybody between them are going to put stuff on all kinds of platforms. But from next week, on Wednesday, Vildecrantz will be in the Biz News digital shop.
And we're excited. We're really excited for that.
We're very excited.
Yeah.
We're going to have fun. We're going to put together some lovely things for the BizNews community and anybody else who would like to be part of BizNews and Vildecrantz. Two, I think, big success stories.
Yeah.
Wayne, thank you so much. As ever, as always, you are an absolute mensch and a star. Look forward to lots of fun for the coming year and hopefully lots of sales.
Thank you. And thank you very much for having us. And looking forward to being part of the team and working with you guys.
Part of the team. And we're going to kick off with the BizNews conference, which is happening in March. And Wildekrans is going to be very much part of that.
Yes.
So, thank you. Cheers.
Thank
Happy
you.
2022.
And to you too, Carrie. Thank you.